Welcome to Chronicle-Insight, where the past shapes the present and the truth lies between the headlines. Each episode, we explore the events that define our world, from untold history to unfolding reality, with clarity, depth, and perspective you won't find anywhere else. Let's dive in. The Younger Dryas Impact Hypothesis is one of the most debated yet fascinating ideas in modern archaeology and earth science. And while it's easy to get lost in wild theories, today we're going to focus on the facts. The evidence that has scientists rethinking the story of human civilization. Let's start at the beginning, around 12,900 years ago. The planet was slowly warming after tens of thousands of years locked in ice. Megafauna like mammoths, giant sloths, and saber-toothed cats still roamed North America. Early human groups, including the Clovis culture, were spreading across the continent. And then, something happened. The climate suddenly reversed. Global temperatures plunged in just a few years, refreezing parts of the northern hemisphere. It was like the Ice Age hit rewind. This period is known as the Younger Dryas, and it lasted over 1,000 years. For decades, scientists believed this abrupt climate shift was caused by a disruption of ocean currents. Maybe a giant glacial lake in North America, called Lake Agassiz, burst and flooded the North Atlantic with fresh water, shutting down the Gulf Stream. But in 2007, a new idea hit the scene. Literally. Researchers proposed that the sudden cooling was triggered by a cosmic impact, a comet or fragments of a disintegrating asteroid striking Earth. At first, it sounded like science fiction. But here's where things get interesting. Clues began turning up all over the world. In layers of sediment dating exactly to the start of the Younger Dryas, researchers discovered something strange. Microscopic spherules, tiny glass-like beads formed under extreme heat. These spherules matched the kind produced by high-velocity impacts. They also found nanodiamonds, a form of carbon created under intense pressure, the kind you'd expect from an extraterrestrial impact, not from volcanoes or wildfires. Even more compelling is the presence of a material called melt glass, natural glass formed at temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than any known wildfire. These materials were found at over 50 sites across 4 continents, North America, Europe, and parts of the Middle East. But the epicenter of this evidence appears to be around what is now the Great Lakes region of North America. The impact hypothesis suggests that a fragmenting comet exploded in the atmosphere, possibly in multiple bursts, sending shockwaves of heat, fire, and debris across vast regions of the Earth. The scale of destruction would have been unimaginable: global wildfires, toxic dust clouds, and the near-instant extinction of dozens of animal species. And sure enough, the extinction record lines up. Just after the Younger Dryas begins, we see the sudden disappearance of 70% of North America's large mammals, mammoths, mastodons, giant beavers, and more. At the same time, the once thriving Clovis culture vanishes from the archaeological record. Coincidence? Maybe. But it adds up. Another piece of the puzzle? Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest known megalithic structure, discovered in modern-day Turkey. It was built around 11,600 years ago, almost exactly when the Younger Dryas ended. Many researchers now wonder if this incredible site was a response to a cataclysm, a monument built by survivors to remember what happened. And here's where the implications get deep. If the Younger Dryas Impact Hypothesis is true, it would mean human civilizations were interrupted, not just evolving slowly and steadily. It would suggest a global disaster wiped out large portions of humanity, rewriting the story of our past. It also reframes how we think about ancient myths. Cultures around the world tell eerily similar stories, tales of fire from the sky, floods that swallowed the land, and a great darkness that followed. The Hopi, the Sumerians, the Egyptians, even Plato's story of Atlantis, they all describe a world-ending event. For centuries, we dismissed these as symbolic or religious metaphors. But what if they were based on real memories? Traumatic stories passed down through generations, long before they were ever written? Now, to be clear, this theory still has critics. Some argue that the impact materials could come from Earth-based sources. Others point to gaps in the sediment layers or question the interpretation of the data. And that's fair, science should be skeptical. But even the skeptics are beginning to acknowledge that something big happened at the start of the Younger Dryas. The question is no longer if there was a cataclysm, but what kind? And perhaps even more important, could it happen again? Today, NASA and other space agencies track thousands of near-Earth objects. The Earth moves through debris fields every year, and while most of it burns up harmlessly in the atmosphere, it only takes one. The Younger Dryas Impact Hypothesis doesn't just reframe the past. It forces us to think about the future. If early humans experienced a global catastrophe from the sky, are we truly prepared if it were to happen again? Because here's the mind-bending part. If a comet did strike Earth 12,900 years ago, wiping out species, erasing cultures, and plunging the world into darkness, and if we forgot about it, what else have we forgotten? History is not always a straight line. Sometimes it resets. This is Chronicle-Insight, where we explore the moments that shaped our past, and the questions that could shape our future. If you found this as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and stay in sight. Thanks for watching.